Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Get Well Soon XOXO. I'm your host, Maddie Manic, and today's episode is going to be on gut health and some different ways that we can rebalance our gut health and just kind of what it is and everything. But first, as always, we are going to do some updates. So, throwing it all the way back to exactly a week ago from when I'm recording, but like a week and a day from when you guys are going to hear this. So last Tuesday, me and Mason and his family went to the home opener game for the Utah NHL team, the Utah Hockey Club. And yeah, it was so much fun. They ended up winning that night, starting the season off really good. Just like crazy atmosphere. Like the crowd was like insane. The like arena, I think that's like what those places are called, was like super cool. They had like basically like no lines anywhere because the food was like set up to where you could just like order it from your phone and then pick it up whenever. So that was really nice not to like have to wait in those lines and stuff, because at the games that we would go to at the Maverick Center, lines were insane for food. So I was thinking it was definitely gonna be like that. But yeah, it was very nice system they got going. Game was awesome, super fun. Excited to go. So I have not had a very if you can't tell by I'm like not even a minute, or I'm in like a minute in and I'm already messing up my words. Have had a like not very productive day in the sense of brain functioning. So we're hoping that this episode just goes okay, because I was almost like not gonna record it because I feel so like just today. I don't know what it is. It's like the past like 3 days just being in my office, I have felt so like sick when I'm in the office, and then like when I get home, I'll be home for like 30 minutes or so and then I start feeling better. And like if I work from home for a little bit in the morning, I don't feel sick. It's not like I wake up feeling sick. It's just like once I'm in the office, then I like start feeling super, super sick. And then I leave and I'm better. And I don't know what it is, but this is like the third day in a row it's happened. So I'm not quite sure what that is. But yeah, it's just, I had the worst headache in the world today. So my brain is just slowly like getting back to normal. But I forgot what I was even going to say. I think I was saying I'm excited to go to some more games. So yeah, that'll be a lot of fun. Sorry. And then me and Mason did like a little fall date night on Friday, where we went to an apple orchard and they had like frozen apple cider there that I got, and then took some cute pictures and everything. And then we came home. Actually, no, we stopped and got dinner at one of our favorite people. I'm telling you, I can't think today. One of our favorite places, which is Cafe Trang. So we got some dinner there, and then came home and turned on. Actually, we finished watching. Well, Mason finished watching the Menendez show on Netflix, the Monsters one, and then we watched the first Scream movie, because I have actually never seen that one. I think I just watched the fourth or fifth, one of the older or like further down the line ones last year, and that was like the first Scream movie I've watched. So I wanted to watch the first one actually, and it was pretty good. I already knew who were Ghostface in that movie, so it wasn't really that much of a surprise for me, but it was still good to watch it. And then went to the Wizard of Oz ballet with my mom and sisters and niece the next day, Saturday night. So that was a lot of fun. Very fun to hang out with them. We got dinner before, so that was fun as well to be able to do that. And then I ended up ordering I think I talked about it in the last episode, the gut microbiome test that I was like wanting to do, but I was going to push it out a couple months. Well, I ended up just getting it because it was $100 off. So I don't know if they're like always kind of doing that where it's like usually this price or they just act like it's a coupon. But it did say it was $100 off at the time with like this coupon code. So I decided to just do it, and I took the test on Sunday and just barely, I tried to send it out yesterday, but I didn't realize that the post office was closed for the holidays. So it's on its way to their lab right now. And then once they get it, they'll test it, give me my results, and get the ball rolling, figure out what's going on. So I'm actually really, really, really excited to see my results because I just kind of want to see what kind of stuff I've been eating that isn't actually the healthiest for like me personally, and like kind of like stuff that they recommend to like kind of help fix my gut, because I'm sure it's not going to be like perfect. I'm sure there can be some improvements because I do still get like bloated and stuff a lot. So I could use some help, and I think that'll hopefully be the key. But I'll definitely update you guys with what I find out and like how things are going. Sorry, I'm like still feeling a little sick, so my throat's not doing the best right now. But I also ended up getting a cookbook / like book on anti-inflammatory diet and kind of like why you should do that, and then like how you can start doing it. It's like an anti-inflammatory diet for beginners. So I was reading a little bit of that on Sunday and kind of just like, you know, looking at the things, seeing like what I'm currently doing, what I could be doing better. Found out that, okay, so sorry, this is gonna be like the longest intro ever, and I say this every week. Like I would say it was like back in like 2020, 2019 even maybe, I started eating brown rice instead of, like, I was trying to cut out white rice and I was just eating brown rice because I had heard that brown rice was a lot better for you. I can't really remember why I heard it was better for you. I just know that I heard it was better for you, so I started eating it. And then maybe like a couple months, a year later, I had seen that actually wasn't the case, that they were like equally as good for you, and that brown rice is actually even harder to digest. So I was like, oh, like, okay, then I'll just go back to eating white rice then, because, you know, why would I eat brown rice if it's just going to be harder to digest? Come to find out, once I read this book, that's not the case. White rice is worse than brown rice because it's a refined grain and actually is pretty inflammatory. So love to find out that I could have been eating brown rice this whole time and saving myself a little bit of inflammatoriness in my body. But that, yeah, was not the case. I've been eating a lot of it for the past like 4 years. I feel like a lot of my gluten-free pastas are made out of like white rice flour. So yeah, you could say I've been eating quite a bit of white rice. But I'm just gonna make switches where we can and see if that helps me feel a little better. So it's good to at least know now. But that's kind of it for the updates. So now we can sorry, I'm like trying to not do that the whole episode, but I don't know if it's gonna be possible. Now we'll just kind of go into the actual heart of the episode. So, basically I wanted to talk about like gut health and the gut microbiome. One, because I'm just now starting to get like really into that. So it's going to be a lot of stuff that I'm like dealing with. So I'm probably going to want to be updating you guys and everything. Also, I just feel like there's like a growing significance with it in like the overall wellness topic in like the world right now. I feel like that's all I've been seeing on like TikTok and social media and everything. So I just kind of wanted to hop on that trend and talk about it with you guys. So basically, the gut microbiome is the bacteria that lives in your digestive tract that plays a very crucial role in digestion by breaking down your food and producing the essential nutrients. And it also regulates the immune system and influences mental health through the gut-brain axis, which we did talk about that a little on the episode, the role on nutrition and mental health. I think it was like 3 episodes ago, if you want to go check that out if you haven't listened to it yet. Sorry, I need to take a drink of this because ASMR is like bad right now. So it is, there's there's good and there's bad bacteria in your gut, and it is very important to just have like a good balance of both in the gut microbiome, because it can be very crucial for your health, because it will help to support your immune development, and it also helps in the processing of nutrients and may even support heart health, and overall it just helps ensure that your body is functioning as it should. While on the other hand, an unbalanced gut microbiome could result in weight gain, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, and then other disorders. So that's why it is so important that you try to make sure you're having like a very balanced gut microbiome, like as balanced as you can, and avoiding things that would unbalance it. There are many different factors that influence the gut microbiome, some of these being diet, lifestyle, and medications. So for diet, it's both your short-term and your long-term diet are going to play a big role in your gut microbiome. For example, a very high-fat diet can cause a very big imbalance of the bacteria in your gut. It would not be ideal for a healthy gut microbiome, while a fiber-rich diet is considered very beneficial for your gut health, and just like your health, as it promotes a very balanced gut microbiome. So high fiber, not necessarily super high fat. And then and we'll talk a little bit more about diet stuff further on in the episode, but just kind of like a little example of like how it could play a role in affecting your gut health. Lifestyle, regular exercise is going to increase the diversity of the bacteria and promote a balance between the beneficial and the harmful bacteria communities. So getting in exercise when you can is going to be very good for balancing your gut health and making sure that is where it should be. Drinking alcohol can also change the balance of the bacteria in the gut, so maybe limiting or avoiding that as much as you can when you can, if you are super concerned with like making sure your gut health is as good as it can be, because it's gonna definitely unbalance that and cause some issues there. Medications, so antibiotic exposure, especially I saw within the first month of life, can alter the development of the gut microbiome, because, as I'm sure a lot of you know, these antibiotics are killing both beneficial and harmful bacteria in the gut. They're just kind of like wiping it out. So that is why I personally hate when I have to take antibiotics, because I feel like they just really mess me up and like make my stomach hurt so bad, and like just it takes me quite a bit to get feeling back to normal again. So I definitely try to avoid taking them. It's like if I can. I know sometimes they're necessary, but I hate when I have to take them for that reason. Moving into signs of an unhealthy gut. So symptoms that would indicate gut issues can be bloating, heartburn, fatigue, skin problems, mood changes. Could be like anxiety, depression, high stress. It's like coming out of nowhere. So looking out for these. If you do notice you have a lot of these, maybe try looking into ways that you can help your gut out, help it be a little more balanced, maybe help you feel a little bit better. common causes of gut imbalance would be processed foods are a big one that cause gut imbalance because they lack fiber and micronutrients, and they oftentimes contain a lot of additives and preservatives that can harm the microbiome. They say like you should be looking for stuff that has just like a couple ingredients in it. If it has like a big list, avoid it, because that's going to be a lot of the stuff that's going to disrupt it and cause imbalance. Sugar would be another thing that would disrupt the balance of the gut microbiome. Like too much of it can cause inflammation throughout the body, so it's definitely not your friend in that sense. I have been trying to, for the past couple years, limit my sugar as much as possible and finding like healthier alternatives when I can. But I did just see, like when I was like looking into all this, I thought like the plant, I just thought like all like the plant like alternatives of sugar were like really good options. And like agave was a big one that I started using a couple years ago. I kind of fell off of it like within the last 2 years, but yeah, I did see that one was apparently not great. So definitely, if you are looking into kind of like switching things out, or you're like looking at your own diet and like seeing what's good or not, like just there's lots of good like resources online and everything. Just look it up, look like what would be like good substitute options and like stuff like that, because that's just what I try to do. I could do an episode in the future on like healthier swaps and all that, but this episode I was just trying to focus on like, you know, what causes the imbalances and like just quick little things that could fix it. So not going to go super into depth on all of that in this episode. Saturated fats is another one that is not the best because it can promote it can promote the unhealthy / harmful bacteria that lives in our gut and increase like the more of the harmful bacteria, which would lead to an imbalance of the gut microbiome. So staying away from that as much as you can. And then the other another factor is another like moving into like lifestyle factors. Sorry, that's what I'm trying to say. Lack of sleep is a big one because this can contribute to stress, and high stress can cause intestinal permeability, also referred to as leaky gut, which I feel like I've said that phrase or like name in one of my episodes. But leaky gut is when it's allowing the food and toxins to pass into the bloodstream, which this is what leads to bloating, inflammation, stomach pains, and food sensitivities. So if you're noticing that quite often, there's a good chance that you could have that, and that is something you'd want to look into fixing because it's not very comfortable to be living like that every time you eat. Strategies for improving gut health would be first, dietary changes. So kind of what I was talking about. It would be very important to have a balanced diet that is rich in fiber, fruits, and vegetables, because these are all going to help balance the gut microbiome really easily, because it's, you know, like higher in fiber instead of like more high in fat as like more processed foods and stuff would be. And then also maybe introducing some like more probiotic foods into your diet, which would be like a lot of fermented foods, like yogurt, kimchi, sauerkraut, apple cider vinegar, olives, kombucha, pickles, miso soup, and kefir. Those are all really good options of like probiotic foods that you could start incorporating into your diet to kind of help out a little bit. And then I was going to talk about the difference also between, because I know sometimes people get like probiotics and prebiotics confused. So probiotics they're what help to make more of the good bacteria in your gut, and they help to promote a more balanced gut in that way. So like they're found in the foods that I listed above. I'd like put that little note, but I already said that, so I'm not going to say that again. And then prebiotics are what are actually going to be feeding like the probiotics or the good bacteria in our gut and help them grow and function properly. So it's not going to be the same food group. Probiotics are more like your fermented foods, yogurt, like that kind of stuff. Prebiotics are like, some examples would be garlic, onions, bananas, whole grains, fruit, vegetables, and nuts. So definitely not the same food group to like prebiotics, probiotics, pretty different, but they need each other to work. So those are just a couple of the different foods that you could be incorporating into your diet to kind of help to work towards a more balanced gut microbiome. But as with like anything I talk about on here, definitely like do your own research, kind of figure out what's gonna like work best for your body. Maybe like incorporate those foods, see how they are making you feel, because as I did see with like the test, because my friend is the one that like told me about the gut microbiome test, she did say that there was even some superfoods, like typical superfoods, that on her, it like her test showed that those are like foods that she should avoid. So definitely like don't, like, if something's making you feel gross, even if it is like a food that is supposed to be like a super good food, just don't keep eating that, because maybe your body doesn't get along with it, doesn't digest it very well. So yeah, just do your own research as well to kind of figure out what's going to benefit you the most. But just a little basic starter kind of blueprint for better gut health. And hopefully you guys have enjoyed this episode. That's kind of all I have for it. Sorry, I'm like, my brain is literally not working whatsoever today. Like I can't process like any thoughts whatsoever. So I didn't even transition that very well, because I just like was spaced out, not even knowing what's happening. But if you can tell, that's where I'm ending the episode, because that's kind of what I wanted to talk about on it. But like I was saying before, I am going to be working a lot with this probably over the next coming months. I'm probably gonna have a lot more to talk about on it, especially when I'm like having my own experience with like finding things that work for me and don't, and just kind of how I'm feeling and like what I'm seeing and changes and everything. So probably won't be the last of this topic, but just a little appetizer for you guys. But thank you. I don't know if I just barely said this, but thank you to everyone who stuck around to this point. I really hope you have enjoyed this episode. And like I was saying last week, feel free to shoot me any ideas on stuff that you would love to hear, because I would love to talk about whatever that is. A little housekeeping as always. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and leave this episode or the podcast a review if you haven't yet, because it would help me out a ton and I would appreciate it so much. You can find me on Instagram as maddie.manic for my personal account, and getwellsoon __ xoxo for the podcast account, and then maddie.manic for my TikTok, and then get.well.soon xoxo for the podcast TikTok account. And then my YouTube channel is linked in my Insta and my TikTok bio, but I will have all this linked in the show notes as always. Thanks again for tuning in, and don't forget to live your life beautifully. Talk to you next Wednesday.